Hello everyone, I'm Bhawya, a young HR practitioner, and I welcome you all back to another episode of Dr. HR. The current anomalous situation has forced organizations to revisit many of their previous projections about how resilient they would be in a crisis, including their talent management plans. Change happens fast. When our company knows where it's going, our team can plan for the future. Hence, there's a need to focus on our talent pipeline, and strengthening them has to be our top priority. There are inevitable ups and downs in business. Good people will come and go. The corporate lattice has replaced the corporate ladder. That's why the practice of grooming employees for more senior roles, typically referred to as replacement planning, is not enough. Just think about today's workforce, which has more generations working side by side than ever before. And it's evident that there are different expectations on the path towards leadership positions. Now let us picture a scenario. You're a successful, thriving business owner. You've got an awesome team led by a key player who we'll call Mr. X. All of a sudden, he quits without any notice. Mr. X is someone that oversees many projects, and there's a deadline coming up for an important project that is to be presented to the board of directors. What do you think will happen next? Let's discuss the list of consequences that can really hurt. Number 1, the entire business can be adversely affected by the power struggles and chaos, and the culture will suffer a negative emotional impact. Number 2, clients will most likely to lose faith in the ability of the business to continue to serve them at the level expected. Number 3, other employees may seek other opportunities in the lieu of clinging to a sinking ship. So how can you prevent these misfortunes from happening? The solution is succession planning. Today's topic of discussion that marks this video. Succession planning is a process for identifying and developing employees to fill the responsibilities of roles within the organization. The goal of succession planning is not to make the current leadership dispensable, but instead to ensure business continuity and growth. Going back to our example, imagine that there's another employee who we'll call Miss Y that has been groomed and tailored to do the same tasks that Mr. X was doing. She's familiar with the responsibilities and has the necessary leadership skills to be successful in the role. Because Miss Y has been trained in advance to learn the skills that Mr. X had, the transition will be smooth and efficient, and she is able to step in right away. Effective succession planning is like a company's insurance policy for sustainability. This becomes more crucial when critical positions become vacant. Consequently, having a succession plan in place will help address critical vacancies proactively in a time-bound manner. Succession planning provides help in planning for the future talent needs, setting realistic goals for growth, and identifying the areas that may require innovation. The growth and development of an organization requires a succession of people to fill various important positions in the organization. It is a mechanism to counteract turnover and uncertainty while maintaining business continuity. Now that we've established what succession planning is really about, let's review and deliberate on some of the myths that surround and layer such a calculated and non-negotiable strategy. We like to call this segment Debunk My Myths. Myth number 1. Succession planning is about retirement, and I'm not ready to retire. Does succession planning mean that the company is challenging my identity or my self-worth by looking for replacements? Is my position at risk? These doubts, these questions cannot get any more real, right? Let's debunk this myth with the understanding of what succession planning is not about. Number 1, it is not carried out in an organization to ask people to leave. Number 2, succession planning is not about roles or incumbents becoming redundant. It is not done to identify and eliminate incumbents. The intention is not to challenge an incumbent's identity, self-worth, or position, but to simply build a pool of talent before it is needed. It is done to ensure your company is prepared for the future, to keep the business moving forward during inevitable changes that come with running a business. Myth number 2. Succession planning, a strategic workforce management exercise, is HR-centric in nature, and so the management need not invest a lot of time and delegate full succession planning responsibility to HR. Absolutely wrong. Succession planning should always be a company-wide initiative. It is a well-tailored process, very specific to organization, where it depends on your organization structure, its design, manager to non-manager ratio. It also depends on current business needs and timeline readiness. Hence, it might make sense for your HR department to spearhead the process, but making HR responsible for the end-to-end procedure is typically not effective. The most common reason leading to succession planning failure is the lack of management support. In order to create a win-win situation, all parties must be involved and held responsible. Transparency around communication with respect to the roles, positions being considered and the incumbents being considered as successors for these roles with the management team is crucial. This proactive approach facilitates transparency in discussions around having the top talent pipeline ready and prepares organizations for a seamless transaction. Myth number 3. Succession planning is synonymous with replacement planning. Hence, relying on only one successor per role should be ideal. Absolutely wrong. Replacement planning fills an immediate need. It is spontaneous and the intent is to hire as per the need of the hour to fill a newly created vacancy. It focuses on the now. On the other hand, succession planning is gradual and a well-thought process that requires meticulous planning, intensive steps to analyze the existing pool of talent and do a readiness mapping to build a long-term pool of talent. Succession planning requires you to have a forward-thinking perspective to allow the organization to not only replace their leadership roles and to have a robust talent pipeline in place, but also serves as an excellent tool for retaining the strongest performers and increase employee engagement and create a foundation for career development for them. Myth number 4. Succession planning is a one-time event. Absolutely wrong. Taking the one-and-done approach is not the answer here. Industry-leading organizations emphasize succession planning as a continuous process and never a one-time event. Now let's revise a few of the pertinent questions. So, when does succession planning come into the picture? When do I know it's time or know that such a strategic intervention is needed to keep the business moving forward? I'll tell you. If a vacancy gets created, whether the person moves out or there's a possibility that this person moves into another role as per their career aspirations, or it could also be that the on-roll talent simply gets promoted and has now shifted to another role or location. All these scenarios may arise at any point in time. Business goals change with the changing business. Talent moving up and across organizations is the inevitable truth of corporate sector and can be sometimes overwhelming. The real-time question is, what is the market demanding? Is your business ready? Do you have the right leaders to meet future considerations? Succession planning will help us to have a robust plan in place to fill these unanticipated vacancies with the best suited talent. It is a dynamic process. Hence, you should never go more than 6 months without reviewing your succession plan. As individuals undergo professional development, their readiness to move into new roles should be reevaluated. As industry experts and leaders, I'm sure you would have come across such notions and myths. So do comment them down below and enlighten our community. I hope this video was informative. Stay tuned for more Debunk My Myth on so many more HR-centric topics. Till then, adios.